Hello everyone, welcome back for another video. I am the Maize Madman. Today's video is brought to you by W Energy Drink. Visit the website at w.gg. Use my code MMM and get 10% off your entire purchase store-wide. When you see the triple M's, it's really him. On today's video, we'll be discussing Michigan versus Illinois. I'll give my complete breakdown, preview, and score prediction of this matchup, and Michigan coaches moving on, as well as Michigan players and coaches up for regular season awards, and a few recruiting updates. As always, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know every time we do a video. And oh yeah, I'm upset. Chase Brown better than Blake Corum is disrespect. I'm gonna tell him why I'm mad. I'm mad because I put up a simple post, a Beat Illinois post on the YouTube channel. I'm sure many of you already saw it, which means many of you probably already saw the ignorant comment made about, quote, Chase Brown is coming from One Wicked Bronco Productions. I don't understand. What is that supposed to mean for us? Chase Brown is coming. We know Chase Brown plays for Illinois. Chase Brown will be there to witness and participate in the destruction of Illinois. But Chase Brown is coming means nothing. Let me explain why. We have the number one rush defense, the number one overall defense, the number one scoring defense, the number 4 pass defense in the country. Chase Brown coming means nothing. Check out the picture here, obviously, of the back and forth. This is just a snippet. There were a lot of comments, a lot of things said in this on this particular post, but Chase Brown is coming means nothing. Anyway, back to what we came here for today. Michigan, number 3 Michigan, takes on the Illinois Fighting Illini this Saturday at noon. It's supposed to be 25 chilly degrees, and it's going to feel like 15 degrees. You know what that means? That's Big Ten football weather. And that means Michigan is probably going to run the football a lot. And to their credit, Illinois is going to do the same. We know Chase Brown leads the country in rushing. As I pointed out to that poor soul in the comment section, though, he has nearly 60 more rushes for less than 100 more yards than our guy and Heisman Trophy candidate, frontrunner in my opinion, Blake Corum. All right? It's not going to be a pass happy day. At least the weather suggests it won't. That being said, we still need to see some downfield passing. We need more from the downfield passing game, obviously, to be able to achieve the goals that are in front of us and that are set out for this season, that Jim Harbaugh set out for this team, including beating Ohio State for the second straight year. Beating the other state for the second straight year, winning the Big Ten title for the second straight year, participating in the CFP or college football playoff for the second straight year, and this time winning the college football championship and thus the national championship. Those are the goals. That's all that matters. Win, win, win. And it is my opinion that in order to do that, in order to secure that, the University of Michigan, J.J. McCarthy, and the receiving group needs to connect on some downfield passes. It's really that simple. Let's break this thing down a little more. It feels like playing Illinois is a bit of a mirror match in many ways. Illinois' defense ranks 3rd in scoring defense as they allow just 12.5 points per game. The Illini are also 5th against the pass and 6th versus the run. They have stars at every level of the defense. That being said, Michigan also has a top-rated defense. In fact, they have the top-rated defense in terms of scoring defense, yards allowed, and rush yards allowed. And they are 4th in pass yards allowed. So in that respect, it does feel like a mirror match. We go to the offensive side of the ball where it does mirror Michigan yet again, because like Michigan, they struggle pushing the ball down the field. The difference, I feel like, is they don't have the dynamic explosiveness in their starting wide receiver group and tight end group that Michigan does. Michigan has the potential to be explosive down the field. Roman Wilson is explosive down the field. We saw that last season. We saw that in a couple plays early this season. Roman Wilson has kind of not been a factor in the offense the last few weeks. However, we know he can be explosive. Ronnie Bell has the potential to be explosive down the field. I know a lot of people are complaining about Michigan receivers not getting separation from defenders and things like that. Also, we know Andrew Anthony, speaking of explosiveness, can be explosive down the field. Cornelius Johnson can be explosive down the field. JJ threw a beautiful back shoulder pass last week to Cornelius that he couldn't reel in. Would have been a difficult catch, but that's one that you have to make at this level. It's one you have to make to give your young quarterback some confidence. And I think that that's a huge part of JJ's problem in the receiving corps. The problem right now is just confidence. They obviously have taken some shots. We've seen that week to week. They've come really close to completing a lot of those passes, whether they were overthrows, drops, or just timing just wasn't all the way there. We understand. However, we have to start getting better. In addition to not being able to push the ball down the field, Illinois also mirrors Michigan in terms of their offensive line production and talent. Illinois has a very good offensive line. They've obviously been creating holes all season for Chase Brown, who again is very similar to Blake Corum in that he totes the rock a lot. He is the bell cow in that offense, very similar to Blake Corum. So it's going to be like looking at a less talented, less explosive version of yourself in the mirror. No disrespect to Illinois, because they are a talented group. They're just not as talented as Michigan. It's just that simple. Brett Bielema has done an incredible job this season coaching that team up, having them in the top 25 at one part of the season, 2 straight weeks during the season, although they immediately lost both of those weeks. Unfortunate for them. Speaking of Brett Bielema, we want to send our thoughts and prayers to he and his family during this rough time. He just lost his mother. So definitely want to send our thoughts and prayers to Brett Bielema. That being said, we've talked about how the offense and defense of Michigan and Illinois sort of mirror each other, at least in their philosophy and in their weaknesses of getting the ball down the field. We've talked about how the defense mirrors Michigan in terms of being very stingy with the points allowed, as well as the rush yards and pass yards. But that's where the comparisons stop. No compare Chase Brown to Blake Corum in terms of who's the most talented running back. It's clearly Blake Corum, the man up for the Heisman Trophy, right? Chase Brown, as good as he's been, he only has 7 touchdowns. He's touched the ball a lot more than Blake Corum, and Blake Corum has more than 2 times as many touchdowns. That's just another fact. Also, as in addition to being a Heisman Trophy candidate, Blake Corum found out he's a Walter Camp Player of the Year semifinalist. He's a Jason Witten Collegiate Man of the Year semifinalist. Let's get on to more players and coaches up for awards for the University of Michigan. J.J. McCarthy is a Davey O'Brien Award semifinalist. The entire offensive line, winners of last season's Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in the country, is a Joe Moore Award semifinalist for this season, and they may even be a better group than they were last season. In my opinion, they are again the best offensive line in the country. Speaking of that offensive line, a member of that offensive line, Olu Oluwatimi, is a Outland Trophy Award semifinalist for the best center in college football. Jesse Minter is up for the Broyles Award. Okay, he's like the best defensive coordinator in the country. All these things going in Michigan's favor. All these blessings being rained down upon Michigan. The only thing left to do is to beat the other state, win the Big Ten, and win the Natty. That's it.
Under 3 minutes to go. And
I said I had some recruiting news for you guys. I do. E.J. Holland of the Wolverine. He does a lot of the Michigan recruiting news. He caught up with on 300 Michigan defensive back target Jair Hill. You've heard me speak of Jair Hill a couple times in past videos. He is the top defensive back target for Michigan right now. He caught up with Jair Hill. E.J. Holland caught up with Jair Hill, who spoke about his recruiting battle, if you will, right now between Michigan and Illinois. It was thought that Illinois had a huge advantage in terms of being able to offer him early playing time, making him the crown jewel of their recruiting class. According to EJ, though, Michigan has made up significant ground by displaying the depth chart to Jair and explaining to him who would and who may leave after this season, and him being able to compete for a starting position next season, as well as being the crown jewel in that defensive backfield for Michigan in this recruiting class. Having a big win over Illinois won't hurt Michigan in recruiting Jair Hill. I can only a sane person could think that having a great display would help in the recruitment of Jair Hill in terms of Michigan. Okay. Michigan is also in the flipping business, if you haven't heard. 2 defensive linemen, both at one time committed to Wisconsin. Jamel Howard just backed off his commitment to Wisconsin and does have a crystal ball in for Michigan. He's a 3-star defensive lineman from Chicago. Also, Roderick Pierce, another 3-star lineman from Chicago, once committed to Wisconsin, has backed off his pledge to Wisconsin. Both are favored to flip to Michigan. That would be big just in the sense of flipping 2 Big Ten commitments to other schools, as well as adding to and building upon a recruiting class that really needs a jump start. And those getting commitments from those 3 will go a long way in doing just that, jump starting the 2023 recruiting. Maybe we can close this thing on a high. In some other recruiting news, 4-star linebacker Arian Carter, who was supposed to be on campus for this game, has canceled his Michigan trip in favor of going to visit Auburn. That pretty much closes the door for Michigan in that recruitment, as we won't be able to get him on campus to see any games. He won't have that game environment, that feel for being at Michigan during a game. I'm pretty sure that if not 100% closes the door for Michigan, has to be close to it, as he has done everything pretty much to show Michigan he really is not as interested as they thought and as they hoped. Until next time, though, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell again so you know every time I upload a video. And follow my guys over at Week 0 Productions. They'll have a live show later, actually today, around 4:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until next time, I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. My ratings, they're about to go through the roof.
All right, now I'm gonna calm down. So I just don't get that all that Maize and that lot and all that puff. I just don't get it, son, for real. And how the